What is enlightenment? Aita, channeling her higher self, April of 2020. This planet Earth experience, this human life of ours, is a training simulator for us to learn love. While in the spirit realm we are inherently love, here on planet Earth, all that is, God, consciousness, has designed a very different experience for us. We humans are souls, parts of God consciousness, fragments of spirit. We have embedded our soul, our true selves, deep within our human heart. This soul of ours is connected by etheric cords to consciousness, to the spirit world. We are also connected to each other by these etheric cords. In our humanness, in our earthly journey, in the early years of our life, we do not have access to our soul. Our intuition, which is the voice of our soul, is silent. We let our ego rule our lives. The ego is the small self. The ego consists of all the ideas of his, her story, all the ideas of history. Our ego believes the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. As such, as a holder of the historical ideas, thoughts and beliefs of our parents, society and ancestors, our ego is the frame of understanding through which we live our life. The beliefs taught us in our early years become the filter, the picture of right behavior through which we navigate all the circumstances we encounter. Although our thoughts and ideas about life are not our own, we hold to them tightly. We protect our beliefs with our very lives. We find it distressing to move out of the comfort zone of our beliefs. So, if we are Catholic, we find Protestant ideas repulsive. Protestants and Muslims may well find Catholic ideas repulsive. When we are Democrats, we look at Republicans as inferior beings who do not understand the world. To our way of thinking, anyone who is different from us is inherently wrong. We believe that we are the only ones that have the true picture of life. Many in our Western world take the words of the Bible, written almost 2,000 years ago, as the absolute truth. The Bible, like the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas and many other holy writings, is a wonderful book with many true teachings embedded in its metaphors and analogies. The Bible does contain much universal truth, but its original content has been altered. When Rome converted to Christianity, the Nicene Council of 325 removed many true fundamental teachings and rewrote others to suit the agenda of the establishment. So Mary Magdalene, one of Jesus' closest disciples, was called a prostitute. Women were not allowed to be priests. Women were to be considered inferior. While Jesus emphasized the importance of going within to commune with the soul, the true self, the newly established church dictated that the mediation of a priest was required for salvation. We believe what we are told. We do not take into account that the majority of humans are living through their ego and have designed the system in which we live to suit their purposes. Thus our schools, our religions, our civics classes are all taught to suit the agenda of our government. We are taught to believe what they want us to believe. They, that is our government, have their own agenda. In our younger years, where we are entrained with the ideas of our parents and that same government, we have no idea what life is all about. We do not understand that we are actors in a great Shakespearean play. We do not understand that we are performing on a stage. We come to Earth to do just that. We come to act out our entrainment. We come to be trained into the negative ideas of those around us, to experience discomfort and fear and from that to learn what truly is true and satisfying to our souls. But how do we release ourselves from the narrowly prescribed thought patterns that we are invariably enmeshed into? The answer is question everything. A good philosophy of life would be, never believe anything anybody says unless you have more than their words to go by. Our politicians promise us change. Each election we are told things will get better with this new administration. In reality, the agenda of the powers that be is totally self-interested. With each change of government, our lives are more controlled and more constrained by increased taxes and heavier rules and regulations. Yet hope lives eternal. We change our votes from Republican to Democrat and Democrat to Republican in the hope that this time things will be different. This time the government will actually serve their public. Our government is not there to serve us. Our government and systems are there to perpetuate their own power. They will do whatever is needed to keep their privileges, their wealth, power, and control. We need to question everything. It is this questioning that leads us to spiritual ascension. Ascension involves rewriting our life script. Our souls, as a part of God, have the qualities of God. They are love, light, wisdom, discernment, gratitude, laughter, joy, bliss, health, peace, and so much more that is divine, beautiful, and everlasting, eternal. We variously have been taught ideas that conflict with our soul's knowing of these truths. We are in the upper room, for we have released the heavy baggage of our entrainment and returned to our true, loving nature. And we forgive all. We know that all is in divine order. There is a good reason for everything that happens. That reason is for our own good. So why hold any resentment? Forgive ourselves and all others. Nothing wrong ever happened. All that we experienced was a gift to teach us love. So forgiveness is never thinking about our history, our life story, or talking about it again. We do not put our attention on the past. Instead now, we live from the joyful, blissful, curious, spontaneous, and enthusiastic nature of our soul. Now we see how our fellow men have been, and many are still, caught in their narrow program thinking. We have eaten of the tree of good and evil. We see how our governments push their own selfish, self-interested agenda onto us, how they control those they govern. They use any means at their disposal to convince us that what they tell us is the truth. So, they create false news. They actually lie to us via news broadcasts, television, radio, the internet. They use artificial holograms and movies to convince us that their lies are true. When we have eyes to see and ears to hear, we see how blatant their lies are. As we realize this and we are enlightened, we watch from a new viewpoint the befuddlement and puzzlement of those who are still in their indoctrinated thought system. Jesus said, "Be ye born anew as little children." This means that we have been programmed with a false thought system. Dismiss all that you have been taught. Clean the slate of your life script. Be as a little child and learn anew what is the truth of life and love. As we live by the fallacious ideas that we've been taught, we suffer from great discomfort. There is a disconnect between our soul's knowing of the truth and our living in the ideas of the lies we have been taught. Thus, we need to seriously look at our thought system. What is it that we believe, and why do we believe it? Do we know it to be the only truth? We have been taught that anyone who is different from us is less than us. They are inferior beings to be treated harshly and with contempt. So people of colour, of different religions, of different nationalities and cultures, have been denigrated by us. Indeed, all humans are equal, all have their holy soul embedded in their heart, all are here to work their way through the morass of false thoughts and ideas they have been given to live by. That is what we are here on earth to do, to sift and to sort through that which we believe and ask if it is true. Are these ideas by which I live my life in accord with my true self-loving nature, in accord with my God as me beingness? What does my intuition tell me? When we are living through false ideas and concepts, we are out of alignment with our soul. There is only love or fear. Love is the high, blissful frequency of our soul, of source energy. Fear is the low, unpleasant, fearful feeling that our ego gives us when we are acting against our true divine nature. Our job here on earth is to find balance, to be in a neutral place. As we ascend and find enlightenment, we drop our falsely trained ideas. We realize that these are the beliefs of our ancestors from history. We do not need them anymore. We form our own ideas of what is right or wrong. This is enlightenment. We are lightened. We are higher in frequency. We are here in schoolroom planet Earth to move from the fear that we came here to experience back to the love that we really are. And it is by re-evaluating our thoughts and ideas that we achieve our designated purpose. All of us are to ascend now. This is a marvelous, magnificent time. We have learned our lessons of love from the fear that our human existence generated. In the upper room of loving being, our ego melds with our spirit. We are humble, for we know deep in our being that we are all equal and of God. There are no accidents. Every incident in our life is set up for us to learn love. Even the most apparently difficult experience can be looked at from the upper room as a learning tool which can be responded to with love. Thus, in the calm state of loving being, knowing that the divine has the planet Earth story in hand and all is well with our world, we look at life and our fellow brethren with compassion and neutral understanding. All is perfect, whole and complete in our world. These are great times indeed. We are watching ourselves, our brethren and planet Earth move into a new dimension. We are moving away from the earthly training simulator experience and into a new and wondrous world. Both the Earth and we are inching into the fifth dimension of love. We have sifted and sorted our ideas, rewritten them, and found our true self. We are returning home to heaven. That was Aita channeling her higher self. We are blessed beings indeed.